Hello YouTube and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Well, this is taping of video number 9 twice because I didn't like what I was doing. So I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to change. So let's get started. This is an alternative for the Sending Good Thoughts July 2022's paper pumpkin. So I'm out of my envelope supply, so I was having to come up with something, and I had this piece of a card front of Bermuda Bay, and I thought I would do an underwater scene, but it got really icky looking. So we're going to stamp on the back of it, and we are going to create, because I wanted to do this anyways, a scene more like this. That's on the inside of one of my cards I created earlier. This one is going to be landscape. Hopefully it works out the way I want it. So we're going to start with Bermuda Bay. Now we're going to have to cut this down. So let's do that first. You ain't going to see a whole lot of it in camera because we have a basic white card base. We have a piece of fresh freesia we're going to cut down first. And this is going to cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And then the piece we want here is going to be the 3 3/4 then, because it's just 1/4 of an inch shorter, and by 5. And this is the piece we're going to stamp on. And I don't want the Pacific point, as I just got my fingers in it, so let me clean that off for a moment, or it will be all over everything. I want to bring in the Bermuda Bay and my seaweed image. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start going up. I'm going to start, let's see, you can see all my other stamping off I've done. I'm going to do one there because we got to cover a bit more. I'm going to stamp off, do one here, here, and all the way up there. And now I've got to bring it down some more. So here, here, here. And we're going to go here, here. If I'm not careful, I'm really going to mess this up. All right. I'm kind of liking that. So next we are going to bring in the fresh freesia and this little bit of coral here. And this is from the June, where is my little bit? This is from another paper pumpkin, A Little Smile, from the June 2019 paper pumpkin. So I'm going to do my coral. And I'm going to make it kind of like going, make our own larger piece of coral here in the center. We're going to bring it here and some up here. Okay, it looks good. Now we need our starfish, which, please tell me I still have them on a block. Yes, but they're underneath there. So this is going to be in Pale Papaya, which is covered up by other ink pads. So this time, though, we're going to have our starfish kind of swimming in our underwater sea. So we're going to do a thing of 3 there, probably do about 5. And some over here. And some right there. So that is our starfish. Now what else do we have? Oh, we definitely need our splashes. And this is our Pacific Point. Trying to think of what I'm going to do for a sentiment. So this is going to bring our watery image, and I love this stamped off. So you're going to stamp 3 times. 4 actually. You're going to stamp off. Stamp, stamp, and stamp again. So stamp off, stamp, and stamp. Stamp off. And we're just kind of moving around. But it almost looks like plankton been thrown around in our... I got to make sure I stamped off first. Stamp off. And there we go. So now we got our watery focal point of this card. We are going to stamp our little... We're going to have little gray seahorse. We're going to keep with that theme that I started. So we're going to do a seahorse here. We're going to do one right there. I wish we had a seahorse going in both directions, but they're all facing the same direction. And I want 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a little bit of one there. Seahorse don't really go swimming around the top. So there we have it. I'm almost thinking I need a little bit of one. So we'll do a little one's tail over there. Yeah, okay. So now we need something to, or a sentiment, singing, something to go in the center here. And I'm going to look in my box of supplies. Did I already cut my... Yes. Okay. Make sure we're going... Oh! That is a card front from our kit. So that's perfect. This is our gorgeous underwater sea here. Glue dots. I am looking for... Yes. I thought I had a little something to go on here. That is a little something too big, isn't it? Well, maybe not. I think we can work with that. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I need a little piece of basic white to trim down to fit on the inside of this card. And we're just going to measure real quick what it is before I go and cut. So it needs to be at 2 7/8 by 1 1/2. So 2 7/8 by 1 1/2. And I'm trying to move all those blocks out of the way. 2 7/8 by 1 1/2. I keep telling myself this so I remember. Move that away so it can lay flat. 1 1/2 this way. You can see I was tracing bottles, but we're going to use the other side, hopefully. 1 1/2 by 2 7/8, and hopefully this little piece will make it. And that is curved on that end, so that's the end we're going to cut from. And it will make it as long as we don't, you know, mess it up too bad. So, well, I certainly did not measure that correctly, did I? What was I thinking? I don't know. Oh my gosh. You guys believe that? That is just too funny. It happens, you know? So maybe I should write it down. It is almost 1 3/4. What was I thinking by 2 7/8? That piece did not want to be on this card. So 1 3/4 by 2 7/8. Let's try this again, shall we? 1 3/4. Let's try again. By 2 7/8. And you guys can't even see the measurements, but there it is. That's 2 7/8. And let's see if this one works before I put the guillotine away. Because we're going to have to... Yes, this will work. And we're going to almost recreate that same fun little background. And I just love it. I think it's so pretty. But first, before we do that, we need to figure out what we're going to put on the card. So I have some extra stamp sets. Endlessly Grateful is great. I really kind of like that. And I like the Endlessly Grateful. I'm going to go with that. Just to be different. So we are going to start with that, and we are going to stamp this in Fresh Freesia. And then we're going to create our little underwater scene around it. Because I'm going to go in the center. Okay, and I know I need some coral while I'm here. So I'm going to stamp some coral on that side, some coral on this side, and right in the center. Yes, definitely. Now we are going to go to our Bermuda Bay. I think. Yeah, we're going to do it. But we're going to do this real light. So I'm going to stamp off a few times. Stamp off twice. Come on the sides. And then right there. Next, we are going to bring in our starfish, which of course is in beautiful pale papaya. And then we're going to bring in our splash from the Contour and Contour stamp set. And we're going to do pale papaya, full strength. Oh, so cute. And we're just going to do that little bit of one there. And we're going to do a little seahorse, I think, there. So, Pacific Point next with our little splashes. Real light. So, stamp off twice. Kind of like plankton or splash of the water in there. Beautiful. Almost there. Almost. And we need the gray granite for our little seahorse. And I like it. It says Endlessly Grateful. I'm going to stamp a seahorse there. One kind of there. And a little tail of one up there. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to like it. Okay. A little disappointed my original idea did not work out, but I can try that again. Oh, not on Bermuda Bay, that's for sure. So I think we're going to pop. I'm not sure if I want to pop that up or not. I'm really liking that. And you know what we're going to do too? Is we're going to bring that Pacific Point and do our... we are going to do around the edges of our card base, just because I think it's going to look really cool. So we are going to stomp off a couple of times. So we just want to go around the edge. Ooh, going to have to do a little bit like that. Then just do that little bit of a darkness in the center of the corners here. Yep. And then the inside we are going to leave stark white just because we can. We move that aside and let's glue our pieces together. And we're going to have to do a little, you know, I got to do an envelope, okay? What turned from that messiness to this beautiful underwater sea image in these beautiful colors. Making sure my card is opening the correct way, and I really like those splashes on the envelope. I mean the card base. So we are going to make it nice and flat, except for some rhinestones. No, we're going to pop up that. We are going to go ahead and pop this up. I just have to. It is too pretty not to be a true focal point if I could find my dimensionals from my kit here. Turn this over. We're going to need at least 4. And 1 from the middle. We will do 5. One, 2, and don't forget, we're not done. We have an envelope to do. We don't have that pretty pale blue, almost balmy blue color. We're going to have to just do a plain white one. This is going to nestle sweetly on there, and our jeweled stones. Where are those? Come on, I just had you. There we are. Maybe getting close to doing these. So we're going to put one up there in his tail. One down in this one's tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I do all their tails, not sure if I need to do all their tails, but I'm going to just because I can. There's another one. There's another tail. And we are going to do this tail up here just because we can. So pretty. And like I said, this card is on purpose. The inside is blank. So let's get a white card base. Gotta move some things to get to them. Don't have any out of the package. So here we go. Let's recreate our scene again. One more time. You guys will do this in your sleep as many times as I have stamped this here. All right. But we still got a good time. So we are going to create our underwater scene again. Not fully, but we are going to use the entire, we're just going to create a bit of it on each side of our envelope. So we're going to need the starfish. We're going to need that. You can't see that what I'm grabbing, but that was the Pacific Point. We have got the beautiful, beautiful fresh freesia here. And I'm going to clean up and go get my grandson some lunch. Our starfish, pale papaya. We're going to bring that out there, right there. And then our gray granite for our seahorse. And then with the fun splashy splash stamp. So where's that little seahorse? So here we go. And now for the sponge part. I love this splash stamp. I'm telling you, it's so fun. And it's great. So we are going to stamp off twice. That's stamping off once to get that darker blue. And there we have our envelope to match. Now I don't want, because everything's white, I want to move that away and those away and everything else away so I can bring it all out here and you can see this beautiful little card. Endlessly Grateful, which that is from the Very Best Occasions, but we're using our stamps in this piece here. Both those pieces were from Card Bases. This is the back of the Bermuda Bay, and that's Fresh Freesia. So this is my card video number 9 for my alternative for July's 2022 paper pumpkin. I hope you liked it. I did. I also showed you that not everything works out, so sometimes you got to change it up and, you know, flip that paper over and see what you can come up with. This is much better. So pretty. So I hope you liked it. If you did, would you give me a thumbs up and let me know? If you don't have to comment, but a thumbs up would let me know that you did like it, and I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you have a demonstrator, stay with them. They've been with you and you need to stay with them. So, but come back and visit my Wonderland, would you now? Bye-bye now.